Hello everyone, welcome to a series of Financial IQ Decoded, your practical guide for financial literacy. We have gone through our practical as well as theoretical lessons on financial IQ. Now we will see certain examples where these investment strategies are used. Most commonly, rental properties are the commonest sources of passive income for many people. So let's try and understand what is this rental income. Before going through this, we will understand certain nomenclatures of rental income. First thing is your gross rental yield. What is your gross rental yield? It is the annual rental yield versus your cost of the property into 100. Simple formula is annual income upon your cost of property into 100. And what is your ideal rental yield? The ideal rental yield should be 3 to 4% for your residential property. And the ideal rental yield should be 6 to 7% for your commercial property. So guys, if you compare, the rental yield of a commercial property is almost double that of the residential property. If you go by this method, it takes approximately 30 years for your residential properties to get nil, while almost 16 years for your commercial properties to get nil. So this was gross rental yield. But guys, this is not the money which is actually put in your pocket. There are certain deductions. So the commonest deductions and which are seen, and through this, what is the net rent which we are getting? I'll just enumerate it. So net rental yield is gross yield minus your deductions, and the commonest ones are, as we all know, due to some legal problems or due to not availability of the owners while selling the property, renting the properties, so some brokers are being involved, and the brokerage is almost 10% of your annual rental income. Then for that property, there are insurances which are incurred, then repairs and maintenances, and municipal taxations. So repairs almost takes your 5% of your annual rental yield. Then the municipal taxes are 1 to 1.5%, and your insurance maintenance, this something goes around to 26%. So a rental yield which you are getting net is almost 76% of that of the annual rental yield. So these were some commonest deductions. But apart from this, there are certain more deductions also. And what are these deductions? These deductions are most of the time the commonest deductions which we don't see to it is your property lying vacant. On an average, a property lies vacant for 25% of your occupancy days. That means if your 100 days is calculated, almost the property remains occupant for 75 days, and 25 days it is without any income source. So this should also be taken into consideration. Now GST is being incurred on any rental yield if your gross total overall income goes above 20 lakhs. So if the total rental income goes about 20 lakhs, you will get a GST of 18%, and rebate and non-rebate is dependent upon the individuals. This will not go in much in details. Then regarding income tax, definitely if your income is more, you will incur income tax on this rental income. But there are certain proportions where certain part of your rental income where income tax is not levied. And what are these? The municipal taxes which you pay on the rental property, it is devoid of income tax. Then 30% of your rental income can be used for repairs and maintenance, and this doesn't incur any income tax. And also the interest, if the property is taken on loan, and the bank interest, that is also not involved into income tax. That means approximately 50% of your rental income is only taxable income. Rest 50%, almost rest of the 50% is a non-taxable rental income. So we should know which part of our rental income is taxable and which part of it is non-taxable. So almost 50% is non-taxable. While going through the rental income part, we should understand also what are the risks while giving a property on rent, because sometimes rather than it becoming an asset or a passive income generating property, it becomes a liability or a property for legal consequences. So what are these things? Certain tenants which are not being verified or whose police inquiry is not done can be harmful to us. They can really create havocs. It becomes very difficult to get the rental income from them on regular basis, and the hikes and the prices, these are not very well mentioned. If a proper document is not done, sometimes removing these tenants, it becomes a big havoc. Secondly, the rise and fall in the real estate. A rise and fall in the real estate is also a problem. Maybe you must have taken a property at a very high or low level, low prices, and later on the rent is not in that proportion. Suppose for example, if you have taken a property and the ideal rental yield should be 3 to 4%, but if it is getting 1% or 2%, that means this is not a asset generating property, but it is a liability generating property. And third important risk which lies is sometimes the property lies vacant for years and years, and in that cases the valuation degrades itself. So now we have seen in rental income what is gross rental yield, what is net rental yield, what are the standard deductions, what are the other deductions, which part of your rental income is taxable, which is non-taxable, and what are the risks incurred in renting a property. So while after all these things, the take home message is, before giving any property on rental, get the knowledge of rental income, understand its risk factors, possible invest in commercial properties as the rental yield is higher, and you should know which part of the rental income is taxable. If you want to know more about all these things, go through our book of Financial IQ Decoded. It is available on Amazon. Thank you.